In a quiet village nestled between the mountains, there lived a young man named Arjun. From a very early age, Arjun had always dreamt of becoming a national-level boxer. While most boys his age spent time playing, Arjun trained daily, sparring with tree trunks, lifting sacks of sand, and running uphill paths barefoot. His father, a retired army man, believed in hard work and discipline and instilled those values into Arjun. But dreams, however vivid, often clash with harsh realities. The village had no boxing club, no ring, no coaches. Arjun trained with sheer willpower, relying on old sports magazines and YouTube videos he managed to watch at a friend's shop. Despite the lack of resources, his determination never wavered. Every morning before dawn, he wrapped his hands with torn cloth strips and punched at makeshift bags filled with rice and sand. He had only one mantra: do or die. Years passed, and word of his raw talent spread. A local official, impressed by Arjun's drive, helped him get a chance at a district-level selection trial. It was his first time competing with athletes who had trained under professional coaches. They wore branded gloves, while Arjun had only his ragged pair. The environment overwhelmed him. In his first bout, he was knocked down hard. As he lay on the mat, the referee began counting. Pain shot through his body, but something deeper burned stronger: a refusal to accept defeat. He pulled himself up, against everyone's expectation, and finished the match with grit. Though he lost narrowly, his resilience caught the eye of a state coach who invited him to train at a sports academy. The academy was miles away, and Arjun had no money for the journey. He worked odd jobs, carrying bricks at construction sites, cleaning yards, even selling vegetables, just to gather enough for the train fare. When he finally reached the academy, he was outmatched and behind in techniques. Others laughed at his village mannerisms, his rough punches, and outdated methods. But Arjun trained harder than anyone. He would be the first to enter the gym and the last to leave. He studied techniques late at night, watched replays of classic matches, and asked endless questions to the coaches. His hands often bled, his legs ached, but he never paused. He had no plan B. Months passed, and Arjun's skill level soared. He started winning local bouts, then state-level matches. He fought like every match was his last, like every round determined his future. His coaches noticed that whenever he stepped into the ring, it was not just about the opponent, it was a war between who he was and who he wanted to become. Then came the national selection camp. Hundreds of athletes from all corners of the country had gathered, each with a story, each hungry for victory. Arjun was the underdog. No sponsors, no fancy gear, no backup, just his grit. His first fight was against the reigning champion's protege. Everyone expected a quick win for the opponent, but Arjun didn't just fight. He dominated. Every punch he threw told the story of sleepless nights, of sweat-soaked training, of silent tears shed in the dark. He won. As he moved through the tournament, the media started noticing. They called him the Village Warrior. His semi-final match was brutal. He took a hard hit that fractured his nose, but he didn't quit. Blood dripping, vision blurred, he fought till the final bell and emerged victorious. The final match arrived. The opponent was strong, technically sound, and undefeated. But Arjun knew this was it. Years of struggle had brought him to this point. As he stood in the ring, flashes of his journey ran through his mind: his father's stern face, the rice sack punching bags, the long walks to school in torn slippers. He whispered to himself, "Do or die." The bell rang. Round after round, the fight intensified. Every blow exchanged was fierce, but Arjun's will was unbreakable. With one last surge of energy, he delivered a powerful uppercut that knocked his opponent down. Silence gripped the arena. The referee counted. 10 seconds passed. The opponent didn't rise. The crowd erupted. Tears rolled down Arjun's cheeks as the referee lifted his hand in victory. He had not only won a title, but proved that sheer determination could overcome any disadvantage. That day, Arjun didn't just win a match. He inspired countless others who came from nothing, who dared to dream, who believed in the power of persistence. His story spread like wildfire, and soon he became a symbol of resilience. He toured schools and villages, sharing his story. Not to boast, but to remind others that the path to greatness is not paved with ease, but carved through struggle. He built a training center in his village, free for all, and named it Do or Die Academy. In life, we often face moments where the odds are stacked against us, when failure looms close, and retreat feels easier than resistance. But in those moments, greatness is born. Not in comfort, but in the refusal to give up. Arjun's journey reminds us that sometimes all it takes is one choice: to stand when it's easier to fall, to fight when it's easier to quit, to do, or to die trying.